Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to SUSS Convocation for the class of 2021. Please be seated as the convocation will begin shortly. As the convocation is a formal occasion, we request for all graduands and guests to remain seated throughout the ceremony and all mobile devices to be switched to silent mode. Thank you.
Dear graduates, congratulations on your remarkable achievement. This is a culmination of your hard work over the past few years. The world you are graduating into is very different from the one at the start of your studies. I hope that the time you have spent at SUSS will prepare you to meet the challenges ahead, and that you will continue to keep the community's needs in your heart as you continue in your professional life. On behalf of my colleagues at the S.R. Nathan School of Human Development, I want to say that we are all very proud of you, and we wish you all the very best.
Congratulations to all of you for accomplishing a major milestone in your journey through life. 2020 and 2021 have been, for the most part, tough years for many of us. But as they say, pressure makes diamonds. So as you enter a new phase at a very challenging time, may I encourage you to embrace lifelong learning so that you will always remain adaptable and relevant to the changing world and the future of work. Whatever the future holds for you, stay true to what you believe in. Take care of yourselves and remember to help others with your talents, gifts and time, and give back to society. So class of 2021, be very proud of what you have achieved at SUSS. Together with my colleagues in the School of Business, we wish you success and happiness in the years ahead. Well done.
Congratulations, graduates of SHBS. I'm sure it's been a fulfilling journey for you and worth all the hard work. I hope that besides gaining new knowledge, you've discovered your hidden strengths and the joy of learning. But don't let it stop there. Be a lifelong learner, stay hungry to learn, and do all you can to serve society. It fills us with great pride to see you in your graduation gowns today. We wish you all the very best in your life and career. Well done.
Congratulations, graduates of the class of 2021. You have done it. Almost 4 or 5 years ago, you came to law school and began the arduous journey to gain a law degree. Well, you have achieved that. I know how tough it was for you. To top it all, in the last stages, you had to deal with the pandemic. You deserve to be congratulated for showing determination and resilience. You have fulfilled your dream of obtaining the law degree. Well done. This is the beginning of an exciting journey. Soon, you will join the postgraduate professional training at the SILE Bar Examinations course. That will then be followed by your practice training. Let me encourage you to continue to pursue your journey of excellence towards what in time will no doubt be a rewarding career. Like your law school journey, you will face challenges in your bar and practice training, and eventually in your professional practice. However, by successfully completing the SUSS Law program, you have prepared well for this next lap. Work hard and continue the journey of excellence that you began in law school. Continue to grow both professionally and as a person. I would also encourage you to keep in close touch with the school. You will always be our graduate. For now, let me wish you all the very best for the future.
Congratulations, graduates. Today is a very important day, one to celebrate with your families and friends. This is the day you have all been waiting for. As you conclude one chapter in your life journey, a new one now begins. Hence, I would like to wish to each and every one of you a lot of success for the years to come. Well done.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the academic procession and remain standing for the national anthem.
I declare this convocation open for the presentation of graduates for the degrees in Graduate Studies, Beijing Normal University, and Law.
Madam Halimah Yacob, President of the Republic of Singapore and patron of SUSS, Mr. Edwin Tong, SC, Minister for Culture, Community and Youth, and Second Minister for Law, Mr. Stephen Lee, SUSS Chancellor, Mr. Richard Yu, SUSS Pro-Chancellor, Mrs. Mildred Tan, SUSS Chairman, graduates, colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Welcome to SUSS Convocation 2021. Let me begin by thanking Her Excellency Madam Halimah Yacob for her presence and support as SUSS patron, and Minister Edwin Tong as our guest of honor. We are honored to have you here with us today. This year, we graduate 2,593 students, of whom 2,375 have come through with bachelor's degrees, 218 with graduate degrees, 6 of them PhDs, and 27 completing special executive management programs. Among these are the inaugural graduates from our Bachelor of Laws, Master of Management, and Enterprise Leadership for Transformation programs. In addition to the usual demands of university studies, all the graduates have come through the COVID-19 storm and succeeded. So class of 2021, congratulations. SUSS too has been challenged by the pandemic. Nevertheless, the work, the striving goes on, as we must, in our spirited, purposeful way to serve the present and prepare well for when we sail into a new normal in the future. And we adapt. For example, this year we held 2 convocation ceremonies, one in April for our 2020 cohort, and then once more now. Quite out of the normal. We must recognize that we are all in the pandemic together, and it is together that we will triumph over the circumstances. The SUSS community continued banding together to give back to society. We launched the Center of Excellence for Social Good to boost capabilities and collaboration in the non-profit sector. Various measures were rolled out to support our students and alumni during the pandemic, such as our Student Care Fund and the SUSS Class Giving 2021, which is a student-led initiative that raises funds to help SUSS students in financial need. The stress of uncertainty, isolation, and disrupted living has affected some of our students, and we have responded with stepped-up counseling services, and we intend to do more in the future. We are proud that many amongst our students and alumni started various service learning enterprises and initiatives to help the less privileged. Our education will evolve as we expand exposure of our students to emerging local and global issues such as sustainability, inequality, and vulnerability. These will complement existing courses on ethical and critical reasoning, the meaning of work, technology and globalization, cities and crisis, and these will allow our students to think beyond their professional disciplines, better understand the world and its emerging issues, and work with other professionals to solve complex problems. Our focus on adult learning will strengthen as we ramp up collaboration with the Institute for Adult Education, IAL, to enable adults to have a more engaging and gainful learning experience. Our focus on entrepreneurship continued with programs for business leaders in collaboration with Enterprise Singapore, and startup challenges for our students through our Alibaba Cloud SUSS Entrepreneurship Program and the SG United Venture Builder programs. What is the intent? We want to create not just multiple learning pathways, but also inspire and support the creation of businesses that will provide future jobs for our people. We want our graduates not just to get into jobs. We want them to create jobs for themselves and for others. But let me turn to you, our graduates. This is your event. You are finally at the end of your venture to win the prize of a degree. And we celebrate with you and your families and supporters. We are always happy at Convocation when we see the fruit of our labor, sending out those whom we have nurtured and prepared for work and life as SUSS graduates. But let us reflect. What types of graduates is SUSS sending out? Let me touch on 3 aspects. You have come through challenges, particularly in coping with the pandemic. It was not easy. You had to attend classes and take your exams online, for example. You persevered, overcame difficulties, and grew stronger as a student and as a person. You adapted to an uncertain and changing environment. So well done. My call to you is to be similarly adaptive when you face your future. We don't know the future, more ups and downs certainly, but you have coped well and you can similarly adapt and thrive. Secondly, you have done learning, self-learning, peer learning, integrative learning, and doing learning when there are other tempting things to do, isn't it? Don't let this habit stop. Lifelong learning and collaboration are keys to carving out a successful career path. Learning about life makes you a wiser person, more able to deal with people and life circumstances. Real-world issues are often interconnected, and it is essential for you to have multiple perspectives, be open-minded, and interact readily with other professionals. You caught some of these in SUSS, and you will find them useful throughout your life. A third point, final one. Be graduates who are grateful. Gratitude is one of the values we hope you will carry with you all your life. You were given the opportunity to earn a degree and a means to progress. What can gratitude do to you? You can better accept others, deal kindly with them, encourage, understand the situation of others, and do good. In fact, I urge you, act on the good values that you have adopted in SUSS. It is not what you say or even what's hidden in your heart, but what you do that depicts what kind of graduates you are, what kind of person you are. So how will we and you measure your success? Is it merely by your academic results? Is it by how successful you will be in your life and future career? Or how much of a happy life you will live in the years to come? Well, some of these in part. I hope your success will be much more about how you will be a conscientious citizen, someone who will give to others and uplift those in need, and who will make a positive contribution to our community. So I wish you every success. Thank you very much. Now, my privilege to introduce our guest of honor, Minister Edwin Tong, SC. Minister Edwin is Minister for Culture, Community and Youth, and Second Minister for Law. As the Minister for Culture, Community and Youth, he drives efforts to build a caring, cohesive, and confident society in Singapore. He also chairs the Chinese Community Liaison Group, which was set up to strengthen government's relationship with Chinese community organizations and deepen the government's understanding of the Chinese community since November 2020. And since May 2021, he has been serving as the Deputy Chairman of the People's Association, responsible for building and bridging the different communities in Singapore. At the Ministry of Law, he focuses on the development and promotion of Singapore's legal and dispute resolution sector. He also handles wide-ranging aspects of law reform, including intellectual property, corporate restructuring, and insolvency, and legal aid. Before taking office, Mr. Edwin spent his entire working life at Allen & Gladhill LLP, where he was concurrently head of the Restructuring and Corporate Insolvency Department, co-head of the Litigation and Dispute Resolution Department, and a member of the EXCO. He was widely acknowledged to be a leading lawyer of the Singapore Bar and was appointed Senior Counsel in 2015. Minister Edwin will now address us.
Thank you, Prof. President Halimah Yacob, patron of SUSS, Mr. Stephen Lee, Chancellor of SUSS, Mr. Richard Yu, Pro-Chancellor of SUSS, Mrs. Mildred Tan, Chairman of the SUSS Board of Trustees, Professor Chong Hee Kiat, President of SUSS, Professor Robbie Goh, Provost of SUSS, Professor Leslie Chu, Dean of SUSS Law School, Associate Professor Kelvin Chan, Director of SUSS Office of Graduate Studies, Ms. Agnes Kwang, Registrar of SUSS, Deans, faculty members, very importantly, all the graduates here today, your family members, friends, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning to all of you, and thank you very much for inviting me here today to share in this very happy occasion and to be a part of today's convocation. The fact that we're being able to be here, gathered today, to commemorate this occasion is itself a blessing. It is a tremendous honor for me to be here today, to celebrate one of a very important life milestone for each of you. And I'm sure that all of you would have been eagerly looking forward to today. All of you have spent the final phases of your studies, doing it in the middle of the pandemic, and finally graduating in the middle of the pandemic. I usually in a graduation or convocation speech say, we need to hit the ground running after you graduate. But actually, all of you have already been doing that. Juggling studies with what you've been doing. Many of you have families. Some of you have other jobs that you had to take on. So the experience that you have in getting through coming through to today, I think will stand you in tremendously good stead. Delivering a speech at a convocation ceremony is a great responsibility. So I spent some time over the last couple of weeks thinking about what I should say to a group of graduates who have a lot of life and work experience already. So I thought I'll draw inspiration from my own convocation. Okay, it was 30 years ago or more, but still. So I looked up some old photographs to see whether I could remind myself as to what I was told when I was in your position. And then I realized that actually I had completely no recollection of the event. And then I realized that actually after today, you probably also will have no recollection of what I'm saying. So I decided that I'll keep it short and borrow what Prof has done and also just make 3 points. My first point is, similar to what Prof said earlier, never stop learning. You are today graduating after many years of formal education, balanced with life experiences, work experiences, much hard work. But I would say, please do not see this as the end of the learning journey. In fact, if you know the SUSS core value, it reminds us that, and I quote, "We advocate the spirit of learning by creating enriching learning experiences. To us, learning is a lifelong pursuit of knowledge." And indeed, that is really very true. I left university many years ago, spent many years in private practice as a lawyer, and the last 3 or a bit more than 3 years I've spent serving in the government. What I learned in school was really just the foundation, the beginnings, to tell me how and where I could look for information if I needed to. But the application, the experience, having the courage of conviction to know that this is the right thing to do, all comes from part of the learning journey, developed through experience, and really through a lot of hard work when you start your working career. And I think it'll be the same for many of you. So as you leave formal education and venture into the next stage of your lives, I would encourage you to remember those SUSS core values and to keep on having this thirst and hunger for knowledge, to always want to know more. And some of you who have kids will tell them, always ask why. And I think that applies to us as well. Always ask why. It is not just about books and academic learning. It is not just about content and knowledge, but I would suggest go well beyond that. Broaden your horizons, deepen your experiences with new challenges, and don't be afraid to step out of your comfort zone, to do something different. Learn to do new things, test new ideas, expand boundaries, push the envelope, and be bold and courageous in what you take on. Because, as Prof said earlier, the world is changing. That's the only constant. And we have all to be adaptable. And we must be prepared to be doing different things at different stages of our career and of our lives. This also applied to me some time ago, and I'll just share one story with you. Sometime after the last GE, the Prime Minister called me and said he wanted me to take over the Chinese Community Liaison Group. You heard Prof mention that as part of my CV earlier. So I took it on. Some of you might know that this is a group that was set up by the government to build relations with the Chinese community. We have a similar one for the Malay and Indian communities as well. The task for me was to foster deeper relations with almost everything or every aspect of the Chinese community. Chinese clan associations, temples, Chinese arts, culture, literary works, even Ge Tai, basically everything that's Chinese. But those who know me will know that I didn't do well in Chinese in school. So I came from SJI. I think that alone says something. And I grew up in an English-speaking family. My parents came from Malaysia, and in their time, they studied Malay as a second language. They couldn't speak Mandarin. Similarly, I didn't speak Mandarin at home. So I think I fell off my chair, or maybe froze in my tracks when I was confronted with that challenge. And I think a few of my colleagues in cabinet also gave me a couple of funny stares when that was announced. To be honest, I struggle a lot with the speeches, with the meetings, with understanding dialect, with some of the customs when you attend rituals and at temples. But it was something that I had to do. For me to be able to build these relations, it's something that I had to do, to embrace. It took me sometimes double, triple, maybe even 4 times as much to prepare for an event, to make a speech, or to simply be accustomed to what the particular event was about at a temple or at a function. But it did force me to learn a lot more of Chinese, pushed me out of my comfort zone, do my own research, and I get to understand a lot more about our roots, our heritage, and our culture. And now, actually 1 year on, I felt that I've myself benefited. I know a lot more about where I came from, what were the significant moments and events in the Chinese custom, in the Chinese calendar. Some say I now speak Chinese better, but maybe they're just being nice to me. But certainly, I hope that I have made some contributions to the process and to the community. And that's my story, but I believe that all of us, all of you, with your background, your experience that you already have, you have a greater capacity than you sometimes give yourselves credit for, to be in a different environment and to do something completely different. So don't be afraid to try. This brings me to my second point. Be prepared to fail. It sometimes sounds controversial, but I do think that it is important to have the experience of failing at something, because this then means that you are stretching yourselves, venturing out of the tried and tested. If you keep doing something that is tried and tested, something you know, it's not going to push you out of that bubble or comfort zone. So it is important to know what the feeling of disappointment or failure feels like, so that you can experience this and push yourself on from there. I've always been told success is good. We all believe that. But don't neglect failure, because failure is not the opposite side of success. Failure is part of the journey to success. And so at the end of the day, it is the resilience to learn from failures, to try something, fail, pick yourself up, dust yourself down, push on, carry on. To quote the great Winston Churchill, you all know Winston Churchill, previously Prime Minister of Britain, he said, "Success is the ability to go from failure to failure without losing your enthusiasm." So I think that's something that we can bear in mind and be prepared to do something that's different, that might open you up to failure, but that's really something that is just one step on the path to success. The third point I'll make is that inasmuch as you find success, also remember to be a person for others. There's a huge village around you. You know the old African saying that it takes a village to raise a child? Okay, you all are not children, but I think the same principle applies. And SUSS vision is to be a leading university for social good. And its programs are focused on social sciences. It includes non-profit management, social work, early childhood education, and the first batch of LLB in law today. These are all very important social tools. And the more we are able to push the boundaries in these areas, to think about others first in these segments, in these sectors, the more Singapore will benefit, not just today, but for a generation that will come after us, our children and their children as well. I think all of you will agree, sitting here today, that all of us are immensely blessed and privileged to have received an education, a first-class education. We are all blessed with skills, perhaps each different from one another, but blessed with skills which we can use to help others. Let me steal a line from a popular Marvel story. All of you know Marvel, right? So I'm sure you've heard of Spider-Man. Those of you who remember the story will remember that there was a young Peter Parker. He was living with his uncle Ben and Auntie May. And of course, his uncle Ben was shot by some robbers, and I think he eventually passed on. But before he did, he realized that the young Peter Parker was blessed with some special powers. I don't know whether it's blessed or cursed, but there were some special powers. And when he realized that, he reminded Peter, and he said this: "With great power comes great responsibility." And I think that, although it's from a Marvel story, a little bit of fantasy, but I think it rings true. Because education is that great power. And I hope all of you will remember to use that great power to help others, especially the last, the least, and the lost. they do not have the same opportunities that many of us in this room have. And it is up to us to make sure that at least the starting point is the same for everyone in society. And each of us can do a little bit of that. I think Singapore will be far more inclusive and a lot more of a cohesive society for us and generations to come after us. It is a little bit of a cliche, but giving is indeed receiving. And for the many law graduates today, just want to share one more experience. I spent 25 years in legal practice, as you heard earlier, and in my time I did some pro bono work. And if I may say, this gave me a greater sense of fulfillment, not because they can pay well, but it is precisely they can't pay you a cent that makes it special. Till today, I am blessed to be in touch with some of the people I came across in my pro bono work, some of our clients, and at least one of them has gone on to do very well. He's turned a corner. And now I see this person contributing to society in his own way, in kind, in effort, and on occasion, financially as well. He's benefited from the system, and he's now putting back something into the system. So, and I encourage all of you to think about that, because all of us who have been helped in some way, blessed, touched in some way, should really pay it forward. And finally, as you venture into this next phase, all of you will have something else to get onto, maybe a new job, maybe a continuation of what you've been doing, a new project. But remember, the ties that bind are the ties that will see you through life. The family and friends around you, the very many classmates and friends you've made as you went through this course, the relations and bonds you have formed over the last few years. No amount of success or honor will matter very much if you can't share it with loved ones around you. So remember, in this busy time, in the middle of the pandemic, it's tough, strenuous on everyone, but remember to spare a moment to look after the village around you. That's very important. In closing, let me say that from today onwards, you will be moving on to a new chapter in your life. You are the author of your own book of life. How that chapter will read, what happens thereafter, depends very much on all of you. But as I said earlier, don't forget that the foundation of a good, successful ending and outcome is often laid at the start, much earlier on in the opening chapters. So remember to pay it forward as well. And so therefore, before I end, let me thank the entire village, those people on stage, your professors, lecturers, the school administrators, the staff. All of them have played a tremendous role in your learning journey, and their role is something which we should remember as being a huge contribution to the reason why you're sitting here today, about to convocate and graduate. And there is a brave new world out there for you to overcome. So I wish you all the very best. I hope in some years, if you make a convocation speech, you remember some of these points, unlike me. But I wish all of you the very best, and may you see the world as your oyster, and may you be that positive change maker that will make a difference to yourselves, your family, your village, and to Singapore. Thank you very much.
Chancellor, may I present the following graduates on whom the degree of Doctor of Philosophy has earlier been conferred. Bana Govardhana Rao. Lau Hui Hong. Liu Ziwen. Lok Chu Cheng Kelvin. Pang Kian Mun. Yo Mui King. Chancellor, may I present the following graduates on whom the degree of Master of Non-Profit Management has earlier been conferred. Winner of the Kwan Yin Tong Hut Cho Temple MNPM Silver Award, Pu Ku Po Tin, Selena. Lau Kim Lan. Winner of the Kwan Im Tong Hut Cho Temple MNPM Gold Award, Melissa Tan Chin Wen. Raymond Marcel Simon. Samuel Rajkumar, son of Mahaindran. Sin Siu Cheong. Chancellor, may I present the following graduates on whom the degree of Master of Social Work has earlier been conferred. Chen Chin Hong. Chiu Wei Ming, Ekman. Chiu Chen Yi, Shirley. Chua Shok Hun. Faisal bin Mustafa. Fong Wai Ha. Go Yi Chang. He Su Jing Stephanie. Ho Hui Fang. Li Yet Wei, Jorin. Winner of the Social Work Book Prize, Lo Jun Ying. Madeline Dr. Krishnasamy. Mashna binte Jameen, Nimalan son of Mohan, Normaliza binte Maswari, Ong Chin Yi, P. Tritra, Risela Giovanni Damanwan, Xia Liang Chong Melvin, So Ying Yi, Sai Abdul Qadir bin Sai Abdul Rahman Al Sagaf, Tan Li Min Luen, Teng Fui Queen, Vijaya Rani, daughter of Jayaguru, Wong Heng Man, Wong Meng Yi Rebecca, Yo Chen Guang Norman, Chancellor, may I present the following graduates on whom the degree of Master of Taxation has earlier been conferred. Chong Siu King, Catherine. Lee Lai Yong Ivan Athanasios. Lee Su Yi, Cheryl. Ling Hua Feng. Nguyen Thi Phuong. Chancellor, I now commence the presentation of the graduates from Beijing Normal University. Chancellor, may I present the following graduate on whom the degree of Master of Education in Early Childhood Education has earlier been conferred. Jiang Xing Wei.
The School of Law is proud to present our first batch of Bachelor of Laws graduates today. Before we invite them on stage to receive their well-deserved certificates, let us first view a short video of one of our graduates, Ms. Sarah Eliza Young, on her learning journey.
Doesn't matter if the glass is half empty or half full. What matters is that you are the one pouring the water. My name is Sarah, and I am one of 20 graduates from School of Law's very first LLB class. I am 34 this year, I am married and I have 2 young children. Prior to enrolling at SUSS School of Law, I was a paralegal with Mr. Peter Loh. During my 12 years with him, I assisted on several high-profile cases. My experience with him confirmed what I have always known, that I want to be a lawyer. After passing my GCEO level examinations, I pursued my diploma in law and management at Temasek Polytechnic. Thereafter, I applied to the local law schools because going abroad was not financially feasible. I tried and I failed quite a few times. So when I heard that there was going to be a 3rd law school, which was going to focus on family and criminal law, I knew that this was my chance, the chance that I have been waiting for. What sets the law school apart is that the people behind the law school, the dean, the vice dean, and its tutors understand and appreciate that its students are unique and they embrace our diversity. My classmates, they come from a variety of backgrounds. We have teachers, counselors, regulars, policemen, and of course, paralegals. We are married, we are single, we have children, we are trying for children. And all this meant that the faculty understood that we all had other things going for us apart from our studies. This was important to me because despite the rigorous curriculum, I was able to pursue other time-sensitive things that I wanted to do, like starting my family. Having to juggle school, work, and family life was a challenge. I felt like I was on a hamster's wheel. I was running with no end in sight. There were times when it got really hard emotionally. I considered deferring my studies, but I am here today because of a few people. First is Dr. Daniel Sia. When I needed encouragement, I turned to him and he told me that instead, I should take one semester at a time, as long as I maintain the requisite CGPA, and that eventually I get there. Here I am. Next is Kimberly. She reached out to me when we were in the same elective module class. She would remind me when submissions were due, when quizzes were due, and she'd fill me in on what had happened in class when I had to leave halfway at times. I am thankful for her friendship. Lastly, I have to thank my husband for his unwavering support. Before we had kids, he would pick me up from class even if they ended at 10 p.m. After we had children, he would be the one to play with them, feed them, bathe them, and put them to sleep while I did my homework or sat for my examinations. He would also not hesitate to dish out tough love when I needed it. Looking back at the past 5 years as a whole, I think I was where I needed to be. Would I do it all over again? Absolutely. I would not change anything. I walk away from my time at SUSS even more determined than when I first started, that I want to stand up in court, present my case myself, and conduct my cross-examination myself. After 16 long years, I finally realized my dream. I did it. With resilience, go make your mark for the greater good.
Minister Edwin, may I present the following graduates on whom the degree of Bachelor of Laws has earlier been conferred. Winner of the Vangat Ramaya Memorial Prize in Family Law, Joanne Giam Sha Lin. Lim Ngi Tong Samuel. Winner of the Raja and Tan Foundation Top Law Graduate Prize and Vangat Ramaya Memorial Prize in Criminal Law, Lim Yi Cheng. Quek Hui Teng Candice Lois. Tan Li Chi Joseph. Cornelius Seng Jia Chong. Joshua Ang Chao Ning. Karen Preet Kaur. Ko Ruyen Kimberly. Laureen Isabel Dumagueng. Lee Yong Yi. Muhammad Azmil bin Abdul Wahab. Ng Wen Wen. Rachel Gillian Chu Yi Chin. Rano Martin bin Nurhanis. Sabrina Wong Xue Yin. Sarah Eliza Young. Tan Siu Chen Agnes. Wong Chen Lung Dominic. Minister Edwin, may I present the following graduates on whom the degree of Juris Doctor has earlier been conferred. Bala Subramaniam, son of Tamalingam. Christina Ko Hui Eng. Eng Chi Kun. Lai Man Lun. Liao Tek Wee. Minister Edwin, we are honored to have you grace the convocation today. On behalf of SUSS, we would like to thank you for presenting certificates to the graduates from the law school. We shall now present the certificates to the 6th cohort of graduates of the Executive Management Program. These SME owners, though successful in their own right, attended the 9-month program with us, acquiring contemporary knowledge and new skills, exemplifying their hunger for more successes, strategizing and growing their businesses regionally in this global uncertainty, as well as creating job opportunities for Singaporeans. We are honored to walk through the journey with them. President Halimah Yacob, may I present the following participants who have completed the Executive Management Program. Eng Wei Ping. Fu En Siang. O Hock I Alvin. Ong Hong Yi Jimmy. Seng Chi Siong. Tan Cheng Long. Tan Chun Kui. Tan Shang Hao. Tan Wee Kiat. To Tiao Ki. Yu Chi Kiong. Madam President, we are honored to have you grace the convocation today. On behalf of SUSS, we would like to thank you for your presence and for presenting certificates to the participants of the Executive Management Program. The graduate representative for the class of 2021 is Mr. Eng Chi Kun, who graduated with the degree of Juris Doctor. Mr. Eng will now deliver his speech.
Madam Halimah Yacob, President of the Republic of Singapore and Patron of SUSS. Mr. Edwin Tong, Senior Counsel, Minister for Culture, Community and Youth and Second Minister for Law. Mr. Stephen Lee, Chancellor. Mr. Richard Yu, Pro-Chancellor. Mrs. Mildred Tan, Chairman of the Board of Trustees. Professor Cheong Hee Kiat, President of SUSS. Distinguished guests, fellow graduates, family and friends. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. My name is Chi Kun. I'm a graduate of the Juris Doctor program from the School of Law. Today, it is my privilege and honor to say a few words on behalf of the graduating class of 2021. Though we had a handful of course mates who accelerated their studies and graduated with the class of 2020, they and us belong to the inaugural intake of 60 students when the law school was established in 2017. Indeed, we were a cohort of firsts, the first law school with a focus on family and crime, and the first law school to come from a university focused on social good, the first local law school to cater to working adults, and the first to offer a recognized law degree delivered in the evenings. There were many unknowns. After all, no one had done something like this before. It was an experiment in progress, both for the students and the faculty. To say that it was an eventful journey would be an understatement. Along the way, we had course mates who left. For some of them, the demands of work and family were simply too great, and law school had to be jettisoned. For others, it was simply the realization that a life in the law was not what they truly had passion for. For the rest of us, those who stayed the course and are present here today as graduates, there are myriad reasons and motivations that kept us going. Regardless, we have much to be happy about and thankful for. I, for one, am elated that countless weekends spent rushing to meet deadlines for tutor-marked assignments are finally over. On a more serious note, I believe many of my fellow graduates are happy simply because they persevered and can proudly enjoy the fruit of their labor now. And for those with kids, there is really nothing more satisfying than walking the talk and showing our kids that if daddy or mommy can do it at this age, there is nothing really that you cannot do if you just try. We also have much to be thankful for. Our faculty, led by Dean Professor Leslie Chiu and Vice Dean Associate Professor Darren Koh, were always on hand to guide us through not just textbook law, but also on how to be lawyers. To give an apt analogy from national service for the guys